Introducing the future of hassle-free and seamless financial transaction. The Una Wallet app, empowering you to effortlessly manage your money anytime, anywhere. With the Una Wallet app, you can now enjoy branchless banking, wallet-to-wallet transfer, wallet-to-cash, and bank cross-border payments. Deposit at a bank and withdraw from any Una branch. Get ready to experience the ultimate banking convenience with the Una Wallet app. With just few taps on your phone, you can effortlessly add funds, withdraw, and send money to your loved ones. The Una Wallet app also provides a detailed history of your transaction, making it easier to track your expenses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the Una Wallet app today on Play Store or App Store and say goodbye to hassle of traditional banking. Uno Forex Bureau Limited, delivering much more than money.
Jaoil is Gambia's leading dealer when it comes to fuel and has made it a duty to satisfy our customers at all costs. Vehicle owners and drivers need not to worry about getting quality and affordable fuel anymore. That is the reason we have our branches spread all over the country for easy access. For good and clean fuel, the only place to go is Jaoil. Your need for good and durable petrol, gasoline and kerosene has been covered by Jaoil, so you need not to worry. Walk to any of our branches and get served to satisfaction. With Jaoil, your satisfaction is our priority. That is why we have branches at your doorstep to make accessibility easy for you. With our professional and friendly staff, we can assure you satisfaction. To get the best fuel for your engines, the only place to go is Jaoil. With Jaoil, it's all enjoyment. That is why we are offering you low charges at our stations on the Coastal Road and Banjul. For more information, you can call 770-8080, 322-9070, 714-7273, or 387-1321. Jaoil, the pride of the nation.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Agada
Mbijano aganyani
Albaka
Mbaka important
yo nga transfer la sto
ya transfer la
ha code nyenje
okay nsila ID soto
sorry Agada
Mbijano
Albaka
Mbaka
bara alla service o tariaka
mbare
ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka
jannom yona forest de bureau Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere birim koyna fo kato
bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolon blabe
56 branches mola soto Gambia ja
ha
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol nko kono ki ya bere kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta même na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw jannom number 1 di nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wala nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi man domorol dil fana be teat gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je
wo moy o diat
apelenta
ni wo
baraka
ka ni na lafta nyelen kendol e bina
yalo bu kanyi la ko la baraka ba
yalo ndel ciosano lo
baraka.
Welcome to the Brunch. I'm Lavin Cham. This is our weekly look at news, views, and comments that occupied the news in the last 7 days. Well, in the build-up to the 2026 elections, our focus mainly on political actors, political parties, and commentators on political matters. After a long time, I'm privileged today to have in the studio somebody from the governing National People's Party in the name of Ahmed Gitteh. Now, Gitteh, some who knows him a long time ago, said they always expected him to be a politician one day or the other, living his student life at Nusrat High School at the time. Well, yes, he indeed lived up to expectations. He was a founding member of the National People's Party, and before that, he was also a militant, I guess, in the then main opposition United Democratic Party, from which the NPP broke away. Or at least members of the NPP broke away from the UDP. Now, since then, of course, much water has passed under the bridge. Gitteh himself had picked up a lot of quarrels with the NPP itself, arising from the controversial chairmanship primaries in the party in 2022. But of course, like I said, much water has passed under the bridge. Gitteh is today back in the fold, and he is in the country to, among other things, take up an appointment. Congratulations. He was recently appointed as an advisor to the Minister for Digital Economy. Gitteh, congratulations first. Let me begin by asking, why are you in the country at this point?
Thank you very much. Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Once again, I'd like to thank you most profoundly for another opportunity. I know we've had a few sessions, and they've always been very informative and good sessions, actually. And I would like to thank your viewers and thank Kerfatu for another invitation. I'm in the country to assume my official duties. As you're aware, recently I've been appointed as the advisor to the Minister of Telecommunications and Digital Economy. And yeah, I'm here to assume that role.
What does the job actually entail?
As the name implies, I advise the minister when and where necessary, to be precise and concise.
Do you yourself have a background in digital matters?
Yeah.
IT and tech?
Yes, I studied engineering and of course statistics that has a lot to do with data and information technology. So yes, and I've worked in a few institutions with a similar background. So yes.
You know, there is a lot of issues when it comes to digital regulation and, you know, operations of digital technology in this country. I mean, so your job regularly requires to advise the minister Your job definitely requires a lot of prudence that perhaps people maybe with critical thinking believe that is lacking in the ministry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for example, there's a big issue on this Starlink license, etc. And then there are talk about the privatization of Gamcell, and the rumor coming into the market of big players like how do you call it, Orange and stuff like that. Local operators seem not to be happy with those kind of things. What do you make? Well, you will have your job cut out for you immediately. You go. How would you advise the minister to go about all those things?
Until I have access to the specifics of these matters, it's very difficult to comment on what should and what should not be when it comes to giving a professional advice. I'm getting a lot of information myself from players and some citizens that are concerned and that are aware of my affiliation to the ministry charged with the responsibility. And we'll see what happens when I resume office. Yes, because information has to be available to be able to make an informed decision or give an advice that is, in your opinion, centered around collective interest or well-being.
Well, most of these decisions that you're going to find yourself or what the minister grapple with every day on this industry, those decisions, sometimes people with critical thinking said they are made by people who are above the ministry and the minister. For example, decisions as to who is capable enough to buy Gamcell, whether or not Orange should be allowed to come, or Starlink. These decisions go up to cabinet. So would you have the boldness or the audacity to give professional advice where you see there's a conflict of interest between what cabinet think might be good, but in your professional, your professional assessment, you feel definitely it's going to be against the country's interest? Would you, Ahmed Gitteh, be bold enough to, because as an advisor, you'll be expected to advise based on your convictions? Would you be able to be free yourself from political considerations to give professional advice?
Okay, so it's a lot more complex than probably currently discussed. But like I said, whatever decision that is being made, remember my role is to advise when and where necessary. And advice are subject to either acceptance or rejection. I am aware and I know that there are people more professional than I do, people that understand whatever I'm going to advise more than I do. Being an advisor or even being a minister means not that you are the best in that particular field.
Yes.
But yes, it's a teamwork, consultations vis-a-vis, discussions, and coming to a consensus where national interest is the center stage. And so the expectation of me by the president, who is the appointing authority, and of course of the TORs, is to serve in the position without fear or favor. And that would definitely mean national interest. And so I also am aware that this is my government, and we mean very well for the well-being of the country. And of course, in any situation, you have people with vested interest, businessmen, whatever you call them, vis-a-vis government and the general public. So issues will arise as they always do in human society, but we will do our utmost best with utmost respect to give what we believe based on information available is best for the government and for the people and for the business community, because everybody's interests need to be, given due consideration. If you don't protect the interests of the businessman too, businesses collapse and you don't have employments created. If you don't put the interests of the government into consideration, governments fail. The consumer too, the general public. So there's a lot, like, you mentioned Starlink, for example. I may be a bit biased. I am Canadian, and we have a friction, very serious one, with the United States.
Yeah.
And Starlink is a U.S. entity. I'm not going to get into it from the professional perspective because that is ministry, but I'm an individual, and with a little bit of research and all of that, you look at a lot of stuff, and government would have signed this long time ago, because Senegal did, I understood, and many others. There are also a lot of countries that are saying no to it, because for some of us that understand or have a little bit of an idea about Internet of issues and technology, especially when it comes to communication aspect of technology. There are a lot of things at stake, especially as it relates to national interest risks. Especially when it involves data, and that is information of the country. So just to be, precise and to summarize, we'll do what is best, what we think is the best for everybody in the field.
Okay, and you are, of course, going to be based at the ministry's office just right by Independence Day.
Yes.
That's where the office is.
That's my office. You are welcome for coffee after Ramadan.
Okay. So now, we can now say safely that Gitteh has finally got the job that he longed great for, and job that he felt entitled to within the NPP government. Given your crucial role in the formation of the party and the history of your falling out with the party, which we will go into, do you feel now that justice has been done now? You now have been recognized for your role in that?
I think for most part, a lot of times I am misunderstood.
Well,
I know that being a founding member and being an active participant, a major contributor to the well-being and the progress and success of the party, does not automatically translate into being appointed or given a responsibility. The problem had been that what I felt I deserve through a process was not given to me. That was where the problem is. I never complained before, let's say, chairmanship, that is 3 years, 2021, 22, 23, after government was formed. I never complained.
You never had any feeling that you've been snubbed.
Yeah, from getting a position.
When it comes to appointments.
The only thing I had was I wanted to go to become area council.
But before that, you honestly never expected cabinet appointment?
No. I knew from the start that I am a dual citizen, and by law, there is no way I could be in cabinet. I knew about that.
Unless you renounce it.
Or the constitution is changed.
I see.
So people that were giving those assumptions and they were just just trying to create stuff. I knew from 2017 that I am a dual citizen and by law, and this is an entrenched clause in the constitution. Until we go for referendum, people like me would not get into cabinet, except something else miraculous happened. So I knew even, in the build up to 2021 election, with my qualifications and participation, cabinet is not where I am going. National Assembly is not where I'm going. I knew that.
But there were people that were just out of hate, trying to create all sort of things. And so, and not having a job too wasn't a problem. The problem was I participated in an electoral process. We'll come to that. And things happened. So I am grateful for this appointment. This is 100% at the prerogative of the president by law. Yeah. But so you must appreciate that it is a way of recognizing now. Of course, it's a way of recognizing, but like I said, I mean, it's not always the president has prerogative. If it were for recognition of performance, I would say 60% of cabinet members will not be in cabinet because they're not NPP, and they have not. Yes, and they are just on account of party loyalty. That is not actually loyalty alone, but by participation in assisting NPP getting to power, working for the party and bringing party to power. It's a small country, so but these are things that are constitutionally given to the president to decide. So, yes, we've gone very far in, like you said, I 100%, I'm recognized and I'm grateful that reconciliation, more important than even the job is, we have reconciled as a party. Okay, we'll come to that. Yes. All right. Yes, you always expected that, well, unlike most people, that you were never going to be catered for cabinet appointments. Even though you are among the people who really helped in the party's success at the polls in 2021, because you hold a dual citizenship. But then you wanted to have an elective position. You wanted the party to nominate you for the Brikama area council election, and a lot of noise came because even those who are neutrals, who probably don't support NPP, but are fans of Ahmed Gitteh, or probably think that he was unfairly treated. His election process went quite well until it really becoming very clear that Gitteh was going to win, hands down. You and many people accused the NPP bigwigs there, including cabinet ministers, of torpedoing the process so that they can get you out. Your cry was definitely well received, and you got a lot of sympathy for that. And then you went into independence, and you significantly individually, you did very well, even though there are forces against you. But then, of course, people, your fans were surprised again when they saw you with all those valid reasons and valid complaints. You went back kneeling before the president in a widely circulated video, seemingly apologizing for publicly falling out of the party. How did you manage that inconsistency? First and foremost, I have not seen the video where people say it's a photo. Yeah, I mean, you were dealing before. Yeah. First and foremost, probably you're a journalist and you follow perhaps executive activities a lot. In our culture, and maybe from today onwards, observe this. Even if Ousseynou Dabo sits at a rally and someone wants to speak to Ousseynou, you don't come and bend over Ousseynou and talk to him. You kneel. Respect demands, culture and custom demands that you go and you squat, not kneel. I was squatting. And that is not me. That is Gambian. That is Senegambian. President cannot be sitting down and I go and stand on or above him and have a conversation with him. If you go to him, you kneel down near him and you speak to him. That is customary. That is normal. And I am very proud that I have shown respect to my leader, who by law is our president, and by culture is somebody that is older than me and is holding a position that is very important. So the expectation is that even if we are in a fight, he is supposed to be shown respect because he is the head of state. He's our leader. So
that is one aspect of it. You can go around, you can see a lot of videos.
First time you met him publicly since the fallout. It looks that was how it was interpreted anyway.
No, that was the first time perhaps we had meetings. I was here in I think I was here for the OIC conference.
But that picture was well before.
No.
It's after the OIC.
So a lot of people. Okay, so you have a lot of people that perhaps would just want to create unnecessary noise out of nothing.
Are they not echoing your own position?
Okay, so let's talk about position. That is actually where I want to go to, and not the photo that you see.
Okay.
People kneel down before leaders. That is very important. So,
how do you feel about that?
I feel very proud that as a human being, I established an entity with a group of colleagues, some seniors, some juniors, some equals, and that entity succeeded. And along the way, we had a problem and disagreement. We were not able to solve it for that particular subject. And it passed, and we all learned our mistakes, and we reconciled to move forward with our entity. I don't see what is anything that is wrong with that. I have formed a party with people, a party that I loved and I still loved. I was treated not so nice, and I protested. I made my point. We quarreled. We all learned. We all fell. Both of us fell, and we learned that this was bad, and we reconciled. What is wrong with that? The best for anybody to have done is to reconcile with those that you share the same vision, the same aspiration with. So I don't know why people feel that is an inconsistency, that is bad, that is whatever. Politics, especially, is about, aligning of values, or sometimes separation of those, values. So I sometimes, those that actually say it, I laugh at them, because I've seen people they worship go through that time and time and time. And generally for us, our society, I've given these examples and I'll give it today. There were perhaps before you finally get married, you would have had marriage agreement with maybe 2, 3, 4, or 5, partners, whether you're a woman or man. You saw somebody, you love the person, you really, admire the individual. 2, 3 years you together and you feel, no, this person is not my type, so I'm not going to marry this individual. You get into relationship with another one. In fact, you marry somebody and you tell the whole world on your wedding day that this is the best partner in the world, the best person I've ever met, whether a man or woman. 3 years down the line, you were divorced. You went your separate ways. That is human nature. We will never, ever agree on everything. Our abilities to handle our differences or trust out our differences are what makes us great human. So most of the time, again, they have brothers, UDP, that will talk about this. Barrow was our Barrow. Moses was our Moses, and he will never be abandoned. Come rain, come shine. Moses was abandoned within 3 years. And in fact, Moses was going to be uprooted like cassava.
Who is Moses?
That was Moses, according to Honorable Seludabe. And Barrow is, for us, Barrow is our Barrow. We will never abandon him. Come rain, come shine. Now I'm giving you this example. Usainu Dabo, by every standard, is better than me. By every standard, should be held accountable more to his word and actions than me.
Okay.
Because of the kind of person he is in society.
But he was He was told that he...
No, but the people, not by those that are accusing.
No.
Not by those. No.
I have often said, a lot of people have said,
Yes.
that his pronouncements that Barrow should stay 5 years instead of 3 contributed in emboldening Barrow to be even more hungry.
But then that's you. That's you.
I mean, he's been told that he's the one who spoiled it for us. That's been said. He's been
Well, again, for me, what I am talking about is most of these things you are saying come from a particular sector of the political space. And for non-UDP members, even for non-UDP members, I've said this and I've said it again. As far as I am concerned, I never said I was wrong in protesting what happened, and everybody knew that.
You still believe that they were wrong, you were right.
Of course, it was very clear. Now, if I have decided that, look, this is my home, and I need to forgive and I need to forget about what has happened, and I also, during that process, have said things that I believe were not proper. I need to say sorry to brothers, sisters, uncles that I in that party, for us to come together and become a force that we were to move forward. What is wrong with that? Every positive member of society should be happy with that. Other than that, and the problem is, we have people that left particular parties because they were angry. They went back, and the parties they went back to are happy with them and would love. The problem with my case is when I had this issue with the UDP, with NPP, there is a political party that felt 100% that I should be joining that particular party. And a lot of support came, and a lot of fake support for that matter. Because, the kind of support and, show of solidarity that I received, if that were to be translated into votes, I was going to go very far. But I knew that my move away, my division with the party was the objective, and rightly so, because they should be smart to bring seed of discord amongst us and let us be divided, and just keep fanning fire to get involved, and then they became the beneficiary.
You want to blame the people for what you yourself started. Right? You were the first person to come out with the injustice right in the process, right in the primary room. So if people echo it outside,
no. Now, yes, you call for injustice. That's okay. If anything wrong happened on the other side, and I'm an MPP member, and I know it's wrong, I can comment on it. But I should not blame the person that is right for reconciling. Why would I be blamed for that? Why should I blame you for that?
Okay, people believe that people who neutrals, I said, who felt that you were mistreated and you have contributed a lot to the party. The NPP may not be their party, but they just felt that from your records, from your contributions, you definitely were not were maltreated. That's what was their thinking. But then moving forward, there will be another mayoral election, local government election, just on a year or so time. Would Gitteh be interested in contesting the Brikame elections or in seeking the primaries for the party again?
My focus right now is to re-elect President Barrow.
Yeah, but I'm saying if that's happened,
let's get to that when that time comes. For me, we deal with situations and matters as they arise. So our focus now is to get President Adama Barrow into office. That is the biggest elephant.
That is more than even the new job you got.
A lot more important, because I got appointed because President Barrow is in office. I know that Usainu Dabo would not appoint me in this place. So that is more important, obviously. My appointment is political appointment. I know Dabo will not make me an advisor to a minister. President Barrow will.
Why do you?
Because I don't support Dabo. I'm not a member of his political party. President Barrow knows we founded the party together, and I contributed to what we have today.
You contributed to the party, so you deserve a job. in the government?
I believe I deserve a job,
Because of what you've done for the party.
much more.
Must that be the yardstick?
Well, there are different yardsticks, but we build political parties to seek for authority from the people to run the affairs of those people in government, to bring about the developments and programs that we promise them. I do not expect to do that work and get that promise and give it to somebody else that I don't know what is in him or her.
Even though it's a Gambia.
Come on, if you are using that as a yardstick, let Barrow leave and give position to Dabo, because Barrow is
elected. That's elected. That's people must decide that.
No, if people decide that,
That people are
exactly.
I'm trying to say that President Barrow should appoint you only because you have contributed this party.
Well,
must the ruling party use state machinery to get people to support them and then get government?
I mean,
we have seen others. They have been. You probably is different because you started with him from scratch.
Yes.
But then there are others from other parties who've been used. State machinery was used to get them jobs because they supported.
Well, I mean, but
must that be the government's style?
That should be part, not in its entirety.
But that's what's happening.
But that should be not always. But the minister of digital economy I'm going to. I've only known him. No, well,
it's a technocrat.
But there are others. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Who came to cabinet that is not a technocrat?
Yes, and that came only because of the virtue of the shifting alliance.
Who is that? Dr. Cisse?
You are
Dr. Cisse is a technocrat.
No, Dr. Cisse
is a technocrat.
It's a political leader.
No, okay, let me be clear.
He was the fear.
No, wait. I think we have to define. We have to define. Let me finish. We have to define what a technocrat is.
Dr. Cisse's expertise is in education and other things.
He's a technocrat in the field of education.
What Dr. Cisse Dr. Cisse, you cannot deny the fact that was only compensated minister because he abandoned his opposition and joined the NPP.
He has gone into alliance with the party.
That's right.
But again,
but an independence.
In addition to that, Dr. Cisse is equally a technocrat. He is an expert in his field of specialization. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. So your worst enemy could be your best friend.
Okay, let's move.
And your best friend, your worst enemy.
Okay, let's move on. We are talking about how.
So you understand?
I'm asking, must ruling parties use government machinery to give jobs to people who have now shifted to their party?
If I believe that,
just go for
okay, let me. It's not just yes or no answer as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, okay.
What is happening here is, if I feel that he is a fierce critic, but he has what it takes to help in moving this country, I'll compensate him with a job to get his support and move the country. And I believe that is the case when it comes to the people like Dr. Ismail Cisse.
Okay.
I believe yes. Yeah.
It's not because they changed from what they were to
that is part of it. You know, of course, he was
the most fierce critic. The president was even looking.
That is okay.
So what
that is okay.
What changed?
The same thing I'm going to ask. What has changed in the case of Usainu Dabo, who actually gave a name to President Barrow that nobody ever did?
Why you
you see, that is why I said,
yeah,
in human society, there are always shifts in interest, in ways you see things. You can see somebody you love today to that. Yeah. Tomorrow you don't like the individual, you divorce. You can be friends with somebody. You probably are not talking to some of your childhood friends. I cannot. Definitely. You are in a particular job, a job that you look for so much, you put so much in to get. You are in that job 1-2 years, you are looking for another. You no longer like this. That is human nature. Right. We can be worse enemies today and best friends tomorrow.
Yeah. So we forgot about all what we have said in the past.
Well, of course, obviously. You don't have to forget, but that is humanity. We move on.
Okay. And the things we believe in the past, we abandon all.
Okay. So here's the thing, Mr. Cham, that I want us to believe.
In the past,
no. In the past, probably, I'm not Dr. Cisse. In the past,
No, I'm not Dr. Cisse.
Okay, in the past, there were so many places without electricity. There were so many places without roads. We've seen so many schools with dilapidated roofs and not so good structures. We have seen the university and Gambia College. Whereas, no, don't cut me. Don't cut me.
Now.
You are cutting me.
That's where you're going.
So students sharing chairs. And Dr. Cisse probably was not happy about those as a teacher. Now, we have seen new structures being built and furnished and equipped with the first class furniture. Doctor is in the field of education. This was my problem, and now there's transformation. So I'm happy. What I was not happy about yesterday is being taken care of. Now we have good roads. Okay. Electricity is now in hundreds of communities now. So yes, what he didn't like yesterday is being fixed by the person he's criticizing. Now he has fixed what I did not like. Okay. Now I like it.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. If there is a reason, then that's okay.
It could be. I don't know.
Okay,
but I assume it is.
Okay. Now let's go. Let's move. Let's move on. Now that election is at the corner.
Yes.
We have seen that you have been instrumental in the NPP strategy in 2021.
Yes.
Do you think NPP's approach should change in this one coming in a couple of months from the situation at the time in 2021? Do you think the approach should change? Do you think it's a different thing or it's the same thing?
There'll be, in my opinion, a bit of shift because needs back in 2021 are a bit different than the needs today. In 2021, most of the communities were complaining about no road networks, no good buildings in their schools, no electricity, no pipe-borne water. Today, 60-70% of those communities have access to especially electricity and road network, and of course, schools. Now, you know the oppositions. I mean, when this one is fixed, they shift, and they help us a lot because we follow them. They identify our problems for us, and they identify communities where these problems are, and then we capitalize on those problems. So there'll be a bit of shift this time around. I'm sure we have a lot to talk about when it comes to economy, because the economy is a bit complex. It's not as visible and outright felt in terms of, physically felt as road and electricity and water. So I'm sure messaging might be a bit different, but in terms of strategy when it comes to deployment, I think that's going to be more or less the same. And of course, we never take anything for granted. Perceptions have been a little bit negative about us, and of course, perceptions are not necessarily true. They can be right, they can be wrong, and I think we have been lagging behind in our information sharing. Our communications sector is not doing as much as it should, and I mean the party and of course government. And so these are areas that I think a lot has to be done to help us get that visibility and disseminate that message to curb a lot of misinformation and also bad perception against us, especially as it relates to corruption and hardship in the country. But generally, you don't change a winning team. The formula we put in place and succeed, we'll just do a few adjustments, but the rest will mostly remain the same.
From what you've said, in terms of the infrastructural and projects implemented by the NPP, on that account, looks like you are saying then your job will be easier in that area.
Very, very easy. Because the last election, we went to places without roads. The president laid foundation stone, and oppositions were telling them these are just mere, laying of foundation stones. There'll be no road here. We've heard that, we've read them, we've viewed them on TVs, distributed and disseminated by opposition, that these roads will never come to fruition. You will never have a road. These electricity projects are just mere lies and false promises. They will never be materialized. So you will never get these things. They are there. So today when we go there, they say, oh, you fulfilled this promise. And we say, give us your votes again. We will do this one. And we believe they will give us their ears.
That is what I will call on concrete personal achievements for the party, NPP.
Yes.
On that account, you have done well.
Yeah.
Okay, you think that will really put you in the hearts and minds of the Gambian people?
Yes.
Despite, you admitted, of course, there are serious concerns. Living cost of life, living cost is very high. Salaries are still poor. And there are perceptions of corruption. Even the projects that you claim, that you are proud of, critics said they are all marked, by corruption. If on account of Auditor General's observations, we've seen in many sectors that we are outright non-compliance, suspicious corruption and other things. Your government is really considered to be very corrupt or not doing enough to curb corruption. Those are issues you will deal with. But now let's talk about your chances and the real situation with your opponents. The situation is that the Gambian opposition parties are split into many irreconcilable units. That's on account of that alone, that gives, very big chance to the NPP's cohesiveness going into the elections. Do you think from your experience that the opposition will remain divided or even further divided before the elections? Or maybe by out of magic, you think you foresee them coming together in a big coalition?
I pray they keep, in fact, more divided. Let there be many, of course. I want to win. And anything that is going to... What I think they are not going to form a coalition. You are a journalist, and you've covered a lot of activities here. I know you were focused more on sports, on the Jammeh administration, but you were also very active, observant when it comes to political events in this country.
I was under Jammeh.
Exactly. From 1996 to 2016, there were several attempts that were made by opposition parties to unite against Jammeh. And these were times when conditions of Gambians were much worse in every single aspect. Every single aspect. Human rights, economy, freedoms of association, expression, press, every single aspect of the conditions of Gambians were much worse under Jammeh than today. Yet, individuals and factors denied them from uniting. Now, in 2016, there were factors that were eliminated and that helped these people unite. Apart from the fact that a particular tribe was threatened in this country. And everybody knew it's either Jammeh out or there'll be outright civil war. That was what, because everybody was ready that Jammeh threatened a particular tribe. And this tribe happened to be the major tribe in this country. And factors, everything was just up there for civil war to start. I'm aware and I knew about these things. And all of us knew about them. And, when you compare and contrast, let me be very blunt here and be very honest. Usiano Dabo is never a person that is going to agree to a coalition that he does not lead. I'm not saying that is bad. I'm not saying he is bad in doing that. He has very valid reasons because he was able to build the strongest and the biggest party out of government. And that entitlement is there. And 99.99% of his followers are in agreement with him on that. So as long as he is there, it is either him or they'll go alone. And I don't think, knowing what happened in the past, before Jammeh was removed in 2016, when he was absent, and what he ended up doing to coalition partners when he came out after 2016, I don't think people will agree to him leading. And I can tell you, Hussein Odabo. And you know, a coalition without UDP is just a joke. That you can give them that credit. A coalition without their support or blessings is just a joke. You cannot go anywhere because they alone almost go away with, you know, a third of Gambian votes. That you support them, you don't support them. Those Ayatollah movement, no, you don't say them. No. Everybody agree to that. So the most likelihood that is going to happen is they will remain divided. Or you have parties that my votes in West Coast will be more than their entire nation, you know, votes will come together to form a coalition. Yeah, small parties that
what Barrow called briefcase party.
You know, so that is what is going to happen. And what my serious assessment is that UMC will not agree to a coalition that does not have Talib on the ballot box. I don't see that happening. Now I'm saying this because UMC, UDP, and NPP from the early stage are from the same father. We are from the same base. So we can feel each other's pulses. And I know, and I'm very sure, that if Talib is not on the ballot box, there will not be a coalition that UMC is going to be part of. If Dabo is not on the ballot box for a coalition,
UDP will also
forget about it, yes. And to an extent, Mama now, and I know I'll see a presser from the administrative secretary of GDC, but I'll say this.
Why?
Mama now has lost a lot of support to NPP. A lot of support. And this will be evident in the 2026 election. That I can tell you. So Mama, to an extent, he might not be the Mama in 2016 and 2021 in terms of coalition, because he was still in that belief that he will be president. But I think now he has started learning that except out of miracle, my chances are very
so
slim.
What will be his attitude?
He probably might, but so for him, I'm saying his group will not be as stringent and as you know, firm with their position that it's either Mama or no, or nobody else. But UMC and UDP will not.
What about Doi?
Okay, so Doi, especially with the coming of Swaibu, Honorable Swaibu, I don't think they have never had much of a problem. They contribute, but for them, if they do not have, and for them it's one thing too, party-led, it's not what they will ever accept from my analysis. And I've followed them for a long time. No matter how small you think they are, they believe in the process. Let's go to primaries, and whoever wins, take. We cannot just come and sign a blank check. Okay, UDP, you are the majority, we accept you. They will not. And the most likely thing that is going to happen is UDP is not going to accept going for primaries.
UDP said they will not go to a convention or in the middle class.
Exactly. So, and this is what has been happening from 1996 under Dabo. Okay. Now, I'm sorry to say this. I know my own party may say, why are you saying this? When this thing happened, I told one of my friends, because UDP, they are my brothers. I mean, outside of politics, we are one. I told them, you guys are not very smart. Sometimes you can be very educated, but not very smart. When Dabo and everybody was in jail, and The same thing was what these small political parties said. UDP, you are not going to lead here. We must go to convention. You know what UDP did? They accepted. You know what they did? UDP, very smart young people, including the Ajiam Seka.
Yeah.
I think Usainu Dabo should sometimes sit back and give assignment to Ajiam Seka and see. Ajiam Seka, the mobile phones, they agreed. You know what they did? They went to my party and told my party, look, you have GMs, you have a party. They agreed with your delegates, we will choose them for you. All right?
That is why
It is politics. You have to be smart. And
That is why-
they went to Henry Gomez, and told Henry Gomez, look, we know your party, please. Now, it was UDP who picked their own members
exactly.
for Henry Gomez. All of them were UDP.
That is-
So they had 70 from Henry Gomez, 70 from my party, 70 from UDP, and 70, that is 210 votes.
You know, that is why GDC, Mama Kande did not join the coalition. He believed that all the other smaller parties that Barrow now calls briefcase parties were actually UDP members. That's why they did not join.
But that is, politics is about outsmarting each other.
All right.
Usainu Dabo could have kept quiet. These people had a formula. He had formula several times, and they never succeeded.
Yeah.
He went to jail. His deputy took charge and brought about a formula that worked.
Okay.
Why can't he give the? Let them fail. That's good for
The
me.
UDP's argument in that is that
Yes.
in the former regime, in the Jammeh regime,
Yes.
it was impossible for them to win. At least one election, 1996, I myself could believe that election was stolen. Because I saw how the soldiers behave under Jammeh.
Yes.
That was not an election. Subsequently, I don't know about that. But you are right. So many coalition building processes failed. The most successful one would have been NAD.
Yes.
Yeah, because during the NAD period, Jammeh felt that his monopoly in power was threatened electorally. Because we've seen that when they formed NAD, mistakenly they all become members of NAD and registered NAD as a party.
Yeah.
They couldn't belong to two executive parties. The APRC capitalized and went to court, and the court agreed with them that these people should lose their position because they cannot belong to two political parties. There was a by-election, and members of the NAD opposition were able to bring back all their seats except Hamad Bar's seat. And Hamad Bar's seat, we knew there were a lot of intimidation, harassment, imprisonment of people, just to make sure that Hamad didn't win. Because Hamad, it must be said, is one of the best, effective, most efficient opposition MP under Jammeh. Jammeh did everything possible to make sure Hamad was not elected in that by-election. But then the whole world and the Gambia came to realize that that is the formula to take Jammeh out. Unity. But like you said, subsequently, the UDP could not agree with NAD because they felt that NAD would not recognize their strength as the biggest party. They had only one formula, that is, we are the biggest party and all others should follow us. You said it. It didn't work. But when there was a convention that organized and spearheaded by, though it must be said, it really worked out in favor of the UDP.
Yeah.
Good. That's the point there. But now, what about, we agree the opposition is split, and if they stay like that, everybody think that they will know. There was a recent survey, however, which said, even though most people think NPP will win the presidential election, in this case, in that case, Barrow.
Yes.
But then others who were asked said, very few amount of the people agree they will vote for Barrow. They will prefer other candidates. So doesn't this mean now that a credible candidate backed by a strong opposition or all opposition stand a chance against Barrow?
Okay, so again, kudos to Sepras.
Yeah.
I am a statistician as well. And there are a lot of people who said they would prefer another candidate.
Candidates, yeah.
But that candidate is not clearly stipulated.
Yes.
Now, I may want another candidate, but that may not be Dabo. That may not be Talib. Let's use, for example, there were people probably that were referring to Talib as another candidate. And there were people that were referring to Dabo as another candidate. Now let's stop at these two. Let's say, assuming 50% of those that said they prefer another candidate to Barrow, maybe 30 were referring to Dabo, 20 were referring to Talib. When you come together, Talib and Dabo comes together, what's going to happen is, I can assure you that 20 of those who prefer Talib, at least 50 of them will not go to Dabo, even though they prefer another candidate. So preference here also has sub-conditions. You can say, I prefer another candidate, but when you unite, a candidate you will produce, these individuals that are saying they prefer another candidate can in turn say, oh, I prefer Adama Barrow to this particular candidate. So there are a valley. You have, an array of candidates out there. Somebody might prefer another candidate. In that person's mind is Esafal. Without Esafal, he's going to Barrow. Some other person might say BB Dabo. Without BB Dabo, he's going back to Barrow.
But then also look at the other scenario. A candidate can emerge that can be accepted by all.
That not under the current conditions. I wouldn't think that is going to be possible. So even if they come together,
yes,
which I doubt will ever happen.
Yes,
President Barrow still has.
Even if all of them come together,
yes,
one single opposition candidate against Barrow,
President Barrow is still going to win.
On account of what you said, the achievements he made.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about the NPP itself? The cohesiveness there. It looks like that's what it's projecting. That is totally united. But in the past, we had that groups, the party's youth president, who was very instrumental in the 2021 election, whom you must have worked with very closely, was abandoned. Which cause of other people, and as far as we know, he's vowed never to come back to the NPP.
Yeah.
And he is from an area that the NPP is not known to have done very well in the local and parliamentary elections that follow the presidential elections. Doesn't that pose a danger for the NPP in that particular area, if not nationwide?
Okay, so first, he's from an area that is known to not be very good, with the ruling party. An area that is not very supportive to the ruling party.
Yeah.
So we would have been much more scared if, let's say, the person is from an area that is very, very, considering the prominence of the individual. If you are from an area that we know is too prominent for the party and you're a prominent person, we will say, oops, we have a lot of work to do,
so
because
for example, if he come from the URR,
that is a different case.
You would have been more rolling.
No, I'm not, because URR is where the president comes from.
No, then where?
Let's say, no, what I'm trying to say is, let's say the individual is from a community, so politics is like, success comes from combination of different factors. Barrow is from URR, and even if you are the strongest person in URR, but the fact that Barrow is from there, your absence from NPP will do very little. But Barrow is not from West Coast. For example, Gitteh, I came from West Coast.
Yeah,
we won in West Coast, but perhaps my fallout with them, a lot of people from West Coast were angry that our son, who, I don't want to go.
I understand what you're talking about.
But when it comes to Keba Mahdi, what I believe still is that reconciliation is possible. Our doors are always open.
They have said they will never.
That is okay. You can say that.
Maybe they are different from you.
Maybe
they are different from you. Can go back despite all what happened, but for them they said they are not.
No. Now there are still conversations ongoing. We've had conversations with people. Keba is a founding member of this party. Keba contributed a lot. It is unfortunate that
let me run you through the reasons they said that that their role I mean, they were looked low upon. Their role has not been recognized. They felt snubbed.
Yeah,
they feel look low upon. These are the reasons that you pointed out when you were denied in the primary.
These are things we can solve. You were looked low upon. Probably there was an oversight. These are not things that we thought were happening. Probably from the level of the leader. Maybe, I mean, I wasn't paying attention to some of these things. And as far as I'm concerned, we have senior officials in the party.
Madi was not just a small slogan chanting man. He was president of the youth movement.
He was, and as far as I'm concerned, he's been active. He's been doing his duties as youth president. And of course, I mean, look, every human society, every entity, every group, there'll be issues, there'll be differences, there'll be troubles. That is human nature. So, the best thing to do always is to find a way constantly to reconcile the differences and move forward. Keba is a founding member of this party.
He got angry. So far, your party have not been able to get it back.
I mean, conversations are ongoing. Sometimes, Keba left less than 2 years ago.
Yeah, but
I came back when
you were quick to go back.
My issue, it
took you how?
It's almost 5 years.
It took you 4 years to reconcile.
I was not even when I was there. And in fact, Keba was one of those who fought very, very fiercely against me. And he was among those, even during that time, we're aware of things that Keba was not happy with.
And he went with Lamin Jada.
Lamin Jada, yes.
And these are very instrumental in you, especially in the West Coast.
Yes, and we believe
they felt betrayed and looked over.
Yeah,
that's what they said.
They felt betrayed.
Yeah.
And that is why I said we still can have a discussion as far as we are concerned, and as far as I am concerned. And of course, from the discussions I've always had with the president, these are people he has utmost respect for. And that is why you will never on a political platform see the president mention any of these people. Because these are his former colleagues.
They too have shown a lot of respect for him.
And that is why I said there is still a possibility. And these things, it's not just, like when I say this is human nature, it's not just limited to NPP. Talib just left UDP.
We dealt with UDP already.
You understand?
We dealt with
I'm just giving you an example.
We've dealt with the opposition split. We know
now
we are the NPP.
Yes,
cohesive. Okay. If Keba Ahmadi and others may come back. But what we know is they said they vowed never to come back. They said that. Anyway.
Yes.
But then, like you said, like you did, anybody can say, I'm gone and then come back. Like you did. Yes. But let's get on to recently, Ahmed Gitteh, of all people, he made a pronouncement that his NRP is going to be holding meetings regularly. And that his ambition to become president, he would not sell that for anybody, even for President Barrow. Even though he made it clear that, well, as long as Barrow is in the race, I am supporting Barrow. Yes. I'm not contesting against Barrow.
Yes.
But my ambition to be president, I'm not going to sell that for anybody. Yes. NPP people were angry with that. They said, that does not help the health of the unity. That Mr. Barr shouldn't have said that. Some people said this is an expression, a signal that not all is well in the alliance. How do you react to that?
My understanding of the alliance is that first and foremost, coming together has nothing to do with somebody, selving or forgetting about an ambition for a particular position. These alliances are limited in terms of time or period. We have a leader, that is the president. We agreed to come together in 2021 and we won. We are in alliance. And I'm sure for any, parties, there are always, agreements, and periodically you renew or you relook at your contracts. So, utmost respect to Ahmed Gitteh or any other party member. They have right. He wants to be president. That's why he formed a party. And I am in agreement with him. Now, the thing is, we're happy and there's a breath of fresh air because as long as, according to him, President Barrow is in office, he is okay. And for us, President Barrow is our candidate. So that matter, I don't know why NPP people should be angry or so. My opinion is different. He said as long as President Barrow is there. And even for me, as NPP member, I do not expect that all these political parties that are in agreement with us, as soon as President Barrow leaves for another NPP party, they will continue to be subservient to us if that is any. No, they want to be president. So we will again go and have discussions.
It looks to many observers that President Barrow is the only one holding this alliance. That no two persons are seeing eye to eye around him.
Well,
without him.
Well, okay. So you see,
BRC, for example, members have complained that they have been looked low upon by the NPP members.
I mean,
so there's a growing feeling that members of the alliance felt they have been sidelined or belittled. In fact, that's how Ahmed Babs put it, belittled by NPP. Not President Barrow. They said he gave them a lot of respect. Many people believe that the alliance is holding.
Yeah, so I would say, that would make sense because President Barrow is the one at the helm of affairs.
Yes, but
if he leaves,
yes,
the person that comes, we don't know who is coming after him, and we have no idea who the individual is. So let's have President Barrow first deal with this. If President Barrow leaves, whoever comes would understand.
So maybe that's the reason President Barrow said he cannot leave.
No, I mean,
he cannot leave.
Okay,
he said his party is young, so these are the reasons why President Barrow cannot leave.
Well,
now.
that's no. I mean, of course, one thing I know is we have a lot of work to do internally. Like any party that is ruling a country, you have a lot of people with different interests and a lot of ambitions. If you have people that are educated, that are competent, you have many of them. I mean, nobody is born to aim for less. Several people want to be presidents in NPP, and that will mean competing, an environment that is competitive. So if you feel, yes, we have 3-4 titans in the party, and if we do not position a party at a certain level, my departure could create a disaster, especially when the legal instruments and the constitutional situations favor you. Why wouldn't you stay? You can stay and stabilize those things and make sure we all understand that, our unity is better for us than our division. I mean, we'll have to keep President Barrow to help us stabilize and prepare the party for that.
He has no choice. He can't leave even if he wants to. There were indications in the past, especially with the passing of the former president's bill and his own pronouncements that he wished to be an ex-president. The pace with which the former president's bill was taken into parliament, etc., all gave indications that President Barrow actually wanted to leave. He wanted to set an example. He said himself that he wanted to leave a legacy. Many people said that legacy, the top of that legacy should be leaving office after 2 terms and leaving a legacy that no president has ever done here. But apparently, because of fear that his party will break up, as critics said, or maybe fear that, he might find himself being chased by the opposition who come trying to humiliate him or stuff like that. All those fears went into his head, and then say, you know what? I can't afford to leave now because one, my party will break up, and I may face retribution from those who come to replace me, like President Macky Sall has been experiencing.
Okay, so one thing I know is no president ever left power in this country, even after 3 terms. So he still has a legacy to
People want
leave.
Barrow to be the person who will leave.
Yes, and he will. I am very sure.
When?
I mean, let's say he wins, and he will win by the grace of God in 2026. By 2031, he has only served 3
He
terms.
would have served. Well,
3.
Well, you
3
are,
terms.
well, at least
And still,
at least
that
you
is
are
history
better.
in this country.
No, at least you are better, because some NPP say that will be some people NPP say that will just be 2 terms because the previous term is.
Well, I mean, he is the one that served it. I mean, and we are okay with that. As you see, the thing is, I am in agreement with you that President Barrow had always wanted to step down after 2 terms.
Yeah.
And if at all the fear factors you've mentioned exist, I would be afraid too. In a country, like Gambia, I mean, every leader, in fact, even if you are the cleanest person, vengeance and unnecessary humiliation of leaders in Africa is too prevalent. So it's a real fear, and it's a genuine fear that.
But how do you contrast that with? Look, you know what? I am stepping down. I'm not going to contest in this election. I'm stopping here.
Well, I mean,
wouldn't that be enough?
Well,
wouldn't that be enough?
Well,
to make President Barrow untouchable in terms of glory and respect.
And not when I know that I'm still preparing.
You know, in Africa, like you are a student of politics. You know, in Africa, all this push and pull is for the state. The moment you said I am leaving voluntarily, everybody forget about it. Well, only know you are going next year.
For President Adama Barrow, it's much more than just him stepping down for this state. He is building a political party that he wants to outlive him.
That's right.
And not only outlive him, but outlive him in government. Yeah. So he wants a successor from the party. And I think
so because of that he will abandon any principle or any desire.
There is no principle he has abandoned.
The principle, well, I mean, his critics said he promised 3 years, you know that.
Well, I mean,
and it's still there. That's in the records. Whatever happened to that, but it's a promise. Anyway.
Well, I mean,
critics always bring it up.
Promise. The critics that are bringing it up, in fact, majority of them are the ones that forced him to abandon it. So
listen to people if you listen to people
you can listen to people for good reasons.
No, if you listen to people in the United Kingdom, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Senegal, and tell them that, well, the people who President Barrow promised 3 years, but the people who spoiled it are the UDP. Come on, they will say, are you crazy?
No, here's the thing.
People don't know. It is President Barrow.
When Barrow was coming to power, let's forget about people pushing it. When they were coming to power, they promised some very
But he was the president.
Yes, I'm talking about this.
I'm telling you.
Some very important reforms.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. Those were the things they intend to achieve within the 3 years, and he would leave. One of them, new constitution, TRRC, economic commission, and some of these could not. I'm sure because the team didn't have experience in governance. They underestimated.
I'm trying to say how Barrow's position as president overshadows anybody when it comes to achievement and when it comes to failures. All right, because of his position.
Yes.
If there's negativity, it's Barrow. If there is positive achievement, it's Barrow's. So
sometimes that's not what they say.
No, I'm trying to tell you, if you want to sell to people outside, why some people, if you say that, okay, Barrow had to renege on his 3 years because he's leader of opposition.
I don't care about the people outside. I'm talking about the people inside. Those that matter.
But that's what happened to Jammeh, mark you. I don't care what the whole world thought about.
No. Not in the Jammeh's case is different.
Well, one of the reasons Jammeh did not have any support internationally was I don't care what the international opinion is about me.
He doesn't. He didn't care what the international community said with regards to the bad things that he's doing, human rights abuses, killings, and all that. For us, we are talking about something that is constitutionally legal and nothing
you cannot
negative.
You cannot state that.
Now, the reason why I say that, now I have to say this.
Domestic politics. You can't say domestic.
Lamin Cham, okay.
You can't have international opinion.
No. Now the thing is, now again, I'm coming back to where we started. When the coalition came into power, they had fundamental programs, like very important programs that they wanted to achieve. Forget about the fact that they say the agreement is 3 years. One, that is in contravention with the constitution, but people will say, oh, he can. But more important than that, when we came in 2016, we didn't have that much money. The covers were, I can name factors. We didn't have that much money to come again, organize a new election. That is a lot of money to organize a new election, register people and all of that. And without sanitizing the situation. Jammeh was still very present within 3 years of Barrow's advent into power. And, commissions were going on. We had the Jammeh Commission, we had the TRRC, we had the CRC trying to build the new constitution. We brought in all these things. We wanted security sector reform, civil service and all of that. They thought, because the country is small and it's a small government, they can just handle all of that within 3 years. And it was nowhere close. When they came in, they realized the enormity. And I must commend Dabo for understanding that. In fact, because he's a lawyer, his focus was more on the constitutionality. But we knew in reality it will be very, very, very difficult if you wanted to organize an election by 2019, 17, 18, 19. Because it's not the political climate, the temperature at the time was very high. Jammeh was still very present here, and we could not afford to organize another election here.
We have 5,000 soldiers from ECHO.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Their purpose was here for us to carry on the transition.
No, there were still problems. And again, you can argue that is one of the problems. The second problem we had was we needed a new constitution. We couldn't get that constitution within that 3 years. We wanted Jammeh Commission to be done and be done with. We could not complete that. We wanted the human rights abuses TRRC. We could not. So I would think Barrow going for his 5 years mandate and all of that, that's okay. Now, what we want as a party is President Barrow is going to run.
Okay.
He's doing very well in the country, and NPP is. We know there are challenges, but we are working very hard. And those that are telling us that we are not doing anything to curb corruption, I think do not understand. A lot of people's understanding of corruption is going after people, beating them and sending them to court or firing them. Now, we have a problem of corruption in this country.
There are independent, professional analysts and commentators who knows how governance is done, and they have come up with this.
Now, I am saying
government revenue was not properly administered.
I am saying that there are a lot of
different from people who we expect.
There are a lot of things that government is doing that is geared towards fighting against corruption. We have a lot of leakages in revenue collection. Actually, digitalization of government is one of the biggest factors that alleviate corruption. And GRA these days is doing a lot in kind of migrating to digital form.
They collected more money, but
they are able to collect more money because they have closed a lot of leakages. We should understand that.
True.
And the Ministry of Digital Economy, the ministry I'm going to, is doing a lot to make sure we digitalize a lot of government systems. Now, the second part is we understand some people are involved in corruption because they believe salaries are not good. How many times have we tried to increase salaries of civil servants? When you complain steel is low, where would we get the money? We are not producing diamond.
You know where you can get the money?
Where are we getting the money?
The monies you are paid cabinet ministers, MPs, directors,
Yes.
the millions of cars you allocated to them.
Yes.
Probably you might get 3 million cars.
No.
That is where you are to save money
No.
and make sure that the people who are in the lower categories, Gitteh, listen to me. A medical doctor
Yes.
today, a Gambian who went to university, maybe American university, paid $100,000 each year, get 6 years of university professor. You appointed him to Royal Victoria Hospital or Edward Francis. You pay him $11,000. A boy who had been shouting in the streets, refused to go to school, just come and chant, Gitteh. You are elected, you gave him a position and paid him $150,000.
Okay, all right.
Now listen, I'm telling you, you paid him $150,000. Just because, just because he support you electorally. The professional who went to the university, paid, came out, you appoint him, give him $11,000.
Okay, so
No, I don't think you are over.
No, you are.
That's where you can save money.
We have inequalities, but I think you are over. No, you are oversimplifying this.
No, I'm not simplifying.
No, you are oversimplifying.
If we cut the waste that goes to our elected and serving public servants, reasonably bring them down to what is acceptable, we will be able to pay a nurse $20,000.
Okay, so
Or a teacher $20,000.
no, I mean,
that's why the problem-
honorable. We have 50 or so National Assembly members. We have 23 cabinet ministers plus the president.
Directors.
No,
Permanent secretary.
no, wait. We are talking. You are talking about elected officials.
Talking elected and serving. Appointed.
No.
I said elected and appointed servants.
I'm coming.
That's what I'm saying.
Even with the numbers you are talking about, this number is still less than 2% of
You know
civil
how much
service.
money is spent even to maintain vehicles and cars for that?
Wait.
Over 800 million.
I have not finished talking.
Okay.
And I've not
Okay, go
finished
ahead. Yes. You said even that is a small fraction of what is needed.
No. I mean, yes. You see, what you are talking about again, the people that you're mentioning,
Yeah.
these are people that are responsible for the affairs at policy and legislative level. Now, people that oversee, people that are in charge, that is where corruption begins. And that is where fighting against corruption should start. And one way to do that is to incentivize, is to give them very good salary. Hey, you are in charge of millions and millions and millions of dollars for those that are under you. Now we are giving you good salary so that the money that we are going to entrust you with can be saved for us to be able to work on ways to bring up those that are under you. Because it is easier to start bettering the lives of few and go down and spread it than starting with many people. But now reforms are coming.
The doctor who takes care of poor people in the hospital doesn't deserve that.
No, I didn't say that. I am not saying that. But how many doctors do we have to pay the salaries of ministers? How many doctors do we have?
You don't have.
It's a lot. We don't have that money.
Equal to many.
We are taking them up, and we and let me be honest with you. And let me be no. And let me be honest with you. As far as we are concerned, and I'm going to say this, especially as far as I'm concerned, everybody should have a salary that is decent enough to take care of the family.
Exactly. But that's not happening.
You know, okay.
That's not happening.
We're going to get there.
Okay, how do we go there? And that's what the people want now.
How?
Because you cannot wait for a hungry man cannot wait for tomorrow.
I mean,
we are fasting. We can't wait for tomorrow. To break up.
How do we get there?
Yeah.
First, this is a country. First, we do not have natural resources, but we want what people have to have value.
And to be
For example, no, it's okay. Now, in fact, most of the Gambians are feeling the pain of perhaps poverty because we have a very, very high level of dependency. You have one person working in government and 5 families relying on that individual. Now, when you build good roads into every corner of the country, what you do is the lands and properties people have increase in value.
Yeah, in those
Now,
days,
you have electricity, and these things give people.
we know that. The government has done a lot in that.
So again, these. I'm talking about ways. We are, of course. I mean, why are you forgetting about this?
No, but I'm not for nobody.
If I give you if you are relying on me, just wait.
No, what the area I'm talking is you are not addressing. It's not. Professor. You went to Nusrat High School.
Yes.
You graduated in Canada and got all your certificates. You come back here.
Yes.
A medical doctor who went to university and come back here. A teacher who went to college and come back here. He's been paid $7,000, $9,000. The permanent secretary has been given a car that's $3 million. The minister given car for that's $5 million. He's given fuel that will cost $8. We are paying a lot of money to our elected and appointed MPs. Far more than we can afford. If we are humble and really willing to live a life that's actually reasonable enough to keep our heads in our body, everybody will have what we call a salary that is reasonable to keep bones on the face. That's what we are calling for. When did inequality be finished?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we are saying. We could save a lot of money.
But you are talking. You are not letting me talk.
You can't agree that we can save a lot of money.
Well, we can save a lot of money.
So
These things
can spread around.
It takes time. You have short term, you have medium, you have long term programs that are put in place. In fact, instead of bringing down the salaries of ministers, the salaries of directors, the salaries of National Assembly members that you complain, or judges, why not we work on bringing up those that are down to the level that they will also be satisfied? Why are we going to cut, the salaries of those upstairs there?
So why? Because
I am talking to you, and I am saying, government is trying to put in place infrastructure that is going to, one, empower those people that are not even working to be self-reliant. If you are self-reliant, the start is be self-reliant, and we are going to have a market that is going to encourage private sector development. Private sector is improved. Economy is better. People do not even have to worry about working for government.
But what if they do for government? They need to be paid.
Now, you are not even understanding. The thing is, if you have all these people now, instead of working for government, moving away from government, because we have a very vibrant private sector, you know what's going to happen? People will not go to government, and you'll have less people working for government, and because less people are working for government, you raise people's salaries.
That's what's happening. That's why the Ministry of Justice cannot attract people who to come to be state attorneys. That's why medical and that's why our health ministry cannot attract highly qualified doctors to come and serve the peasantry.
Okay.
But they don't get paid.
The government of the Gambia under President Adama Barrow is putting in place infrastructure, and an infrastructure. This is the start. We are doing very well in making sure that those that are in the private sector to have an enabling environment, to have what it takes in terms of factors, in terms of resources, to be able to build institutions, businesses, that is going to attract our young people with good salary. And along the way, in public sector, we are equally increasing salaries, because we are closing a lot of loopholes, and you have given some very good suggestions that a lot of vehicles are bought, we give a lot of fuels, and these are things that government might sit down one day and say, oh, Lamin Cham said this, and that is why it's important to have engagements and discussion.
All these were spelled out in the coalition agenda.
Yeah, but it's not okay. Let's say no. It's not.
It's already
Maybe the manner in which
it was about
in the manner in which and this is across political parties.
Teacher, for example, would not like to go home from office without driving in.
And that is what I just said. So this and again, sometimes again,
courage and you don't
want to take courage to get into something that will actually keep you yourself out of where you should be to be able to bring about those.
You don't want to be unpopular.
No, not unpopular. If you're unpopular and you get out of power, someone else will come in that will listen to those that are happy with what you're doing. So it has to be gradual.
It has to be political consideration.
It has to be gradual, of course.
All right.
Now it has to be gradual.
Okay.
And we are really doing our utmost best.
Yeah.
And we are bringing about programs and policies to make sure that the well-being of Gambians are definitely catered for. And when you look at the situation again, Gambia is a very poor country. And I keep telling this to people. We will get the salaries to where we want to get them. But for now, a large chunk of the money we are getting, we're investing it in the infrastructure. When we get the infrastructure done, whether it's education, healthcare, roads, electricity, that is energy sector, we will now focus on what you're talking about now. The billions we are getting from GRA will no longer go to roads. We will now focus that on improving the salaries of our employees.
So where does the priority lies?
The priority lies in
people who are sick and hungry, or people's roads.
I mean, you see now in the histories of all these developed nations, they have phases of development. When you are doing infrastructure, when you are building your country and building the foundation, there will always be issues.
Okay.
And that everybody knows. We are building the infrastructure, of course, because we are not financially, self-sufficient. We will have issues in other sectors. So people have to bear with us. Let us fix the infrastructure. And once that is done, because if that is not done, the guy that wants to invest in agriculture will not be able to achieve the objectives. The guy that wants to invest in industrialization, in building factories, will not be able to come here to build pharmaceutical companies, whatever companies processing you talk about. It's not going to be possible because the energy infrastructure is not in place. We have to build that, and we are building that from our tax that we collect from the people. You know how the world is. Big donors are tired. You are fighting everywhere. Everybody is now busy taking care of themselves in their respective countries. So we are relying on the little taxes we are getting. So we cannot solve all these road projects that even you are happy with. Now your vehicle is not getting into more than all that. Now electricity. This is what you need if you want a country to develop. You must have this, and these are things we are building first, and then the rest will come.
Okay.
That is what every country in this world, this is where they've started. Go to China before they are self-sufficient. Millions of people died building roads out of hunger.
Okay.
Millions of people died, in the industrialization process. Today, they are energy self-sufficient. They are self-sufficient in terms of production of food and whatever technology you talk about, because they have road networks, they have energy in abundance. That is what President Barrow and the National People's Party government is trying to, take us to.
Good. Well, finally, Mr. Gitteh, since you will be in the country now for long, I hope, how do you react to this personal question? Why do you give up whatever job you are doing in Canada, which obviously should look as if far more lucrative than the government job you are taking here?
It's funny, but I'm a Gambian, and
you are a Canadian as well.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm a Gambian first before I'm a Canadian, okay. And like thousands and thousands of people, some of us probably, not even probably, take up, documents for opportunities that are available in these Western countries. And people will, find it very weird. But we had people in the 60s, in the 70s, that would have had better lives in the West. But their views were that we have to go back to our continent and fight against the imperialism, fight against the injustice, and build our nations, and build our countries, and build our continent. I'm a young man. I believe whatever you achieve in Canada, it may not be in my generation, but I sincerely believe that I am worthier here than in Canada. I can work and get a lot of money, but the problem with that is Canada, with or without me, there are thousands and thousands of my time that are actually left idle. But when I come to this country, my little contribution will be more of an impact positively than in Canada. So I believe as a Gambian, and of course, I've said this before, when I went to Canada, I went on government scholarship, and the objective was very simple. Jame told me, you are going to study, come back, and in fact he said you are going to take over Gamtel. That's what he told me. So go, Jame,
you have a little history with Jame, and APRC people felt you betrayed Jame.
Well, I usually wouldn't. They would say that. I have a different opinion, and I'm sure today a lot is happening within the APRC, and you have a lot of them that are no longer in good terms with Jame. But I got a scholarship. Jame was the leader, and I said
directly handed you scholarship.
Yes, I got. Okay, so we had no. So this was what happened.
No, you quite frankly, one thing about Jame, he recognized talent. He was somebody.
I had scholarship before Jame. Wait, I had national scholarship.
Nationally picked.
Yes, I had. There were reasons, and let me make this very clear. I had personal scholarships before. Okay, so when you finish high school in those days, you have people with 9 credits.
Yeah.
So I think we were the 20 best students in the country. I was among those. Automatically, you get scholarship to go to university if you're from the sciences way to study medicine.
Yeah.
I got a scholarship already. My name was read on national TV and over the radios among those 20 best students from high school. I was supposed to go and study medicine. I don't like medicine. I wanted to study engineering. But things happen with Jame in Kanilai, and Jame felt I'm a very good journalist naturally. Nene Mabdol is alive. She was present. So what happened was I translated a message from English to Mandinka. Very excellent translation. Now he told me, you are going to go to GRTS. I said, no, I don't want to be a journalist. He said, no, you'll go to GRTS. Whatever you want to study, let me know. When you finish school, I'll send you to go and study up to PhD. But before that, I was in grade 11. Mr. Bojang of Nusrat is there. Yes. So that was what happened. He said, you must go to GRTS, and work because you are excellent. Nene Mabdol was there. Mamadou Sanya was the DG then. The rest is history. I finished my grade 12 as he promised. I wrote to him and say I've finished. Fatulamin Fai actually called me with my colleagues to go and collect our scholarships. Fatulamin Fai was the basic and secondary education at the time. We went there. At the meeting, she told me that we are already informed that you have a separate scholarship. You are going to study overseas. So you are not part of the scholarship. I got my letter. He said, look for school anywhere of your choice, your program of your choice, and I'll sponsor you up to PhD. This was how it came about.
That's what Jame said.
That's what he said, and so that's how I went to.
You owe Jame a lot of gratitude.
I am very thankful, and I've always said that. And nowhere, everyone that I met with would tell you. But that is not a reason to say I should not say the wrongs he has done.
Nobody said.
That is what they say. You betrayed him. You are ungrateful. I mean, I wouldn't accept him killing people because he sponsored me. Oh, Jame, good, go and kill people. I should not do that. I should not. And again, the money, the scholarship.
You didn't know all the time you had the scholarship that people were.
I was never, for those that knew me, I left here very young. I was never involved in politics. My life.
2012 or 2013?
2011.
Wow, yes. That,
Never.
So many incidents had happened before.
Let me tell you who I am. And all those people.
Politics, you couldn't have been.
When I leave my school, I am with my Red Cross people. I have never even had a voter's card. I never voted until 2021. Never. I was never interested in politics. I'm with my youth work. A lot of Red Cross volunteers that are watching would know. So politics was not something I think I would ever get into until I met Jame and I went to GRTS. And for many of us, you probably would have believed how many different news do you hear? Some say Jame is a killer. For me, that was close to Jame. He was the nicest individual I've ever met. I was very close to Jame. Jame is the funniest individual you would ever meet. For those that are close to him. And I was one of those. Young, he makes us laugh. And after we laugh, he would give us money. Jame liked me so much, he would visit my dad in Kitty. And that's all I knew about Jame. And I went for my studies.
So when the APRC or his supporters said you betrayed him, that started speaking.
What was that?
You think that they were not fair because you were?
I will not.
You were talking on national interest.
So the actual thing is, do I not have a right, as a Gambian, to choose whether I should support or oppose you?
Okay.
Do I not have that right?
That's okay.
Even your child that you brought up, you fed and gave food to, took care of, educated,
can still,
and then
be your critic.
Is that a problem?
That's not a problem.
Yeah, that is not a problem.
All right. I'm very glad to have somebody like you from the NPP, because I've always felt that people in the NPP don't make use of the various media spaces in the country.
Especially this one.
Yeah, maybe especially
particularly, yeah. But this is what I believe in.
But I have always said that, and then there are 18 or so political groups here now. If you count the rest who have not been registered, you might run into 20 something.
Yes.
Now all of these people make use of the media space, and you can be sure that first sentence will be criticism of the government. Will never come from them.
Yes.
And the media cannot suppress them, because if you suppress, they will come and say, "Oh, there is no media freedom." They select the parties or the politicians. Now, even if you give a day each to all these political parties, the NPP will get only 1 day, and 22 days will be for opposition.
That's right.
So it's duty upon the NPP to be as proactive as possible to counter if there are misconceptions being peddled by the opposition, or the criticisms being peddled by the opposition. But if the NPP doesn't do that, there will be an imbalance in the public space, and they will blame journalists and media houses for that. And then most of that's what happens. I have always come to you, and I have people from the NPP come here and talk. And so on that account, you and Sekou Balo, I would like to thank you very much. You've always been available.
I am back, as I have done in 2020, 2021, build up towards elections. Look, yes, we have people that are hesitant to come to, especially media houses that they felt critical. One, sometimes they felt that they may personally be, incriminated, or probably
or commentators will insult them, something like that.
Sometimes even the fear of perhaps things you say, even within the for me, in fact, I love it more on an perceived opposition platform, because you ask whatever question you want.
Exactly.
You don't force me say what I don't want to say.
Absolutely.
So and again, like you said, the reason why I believe perceptions about government that law in Cyprus is because of our communications
Exactly.
strategy. I know Dr. Cisse is doing a lot, Sabali and all of that, and we are all in, and we are going to work on that. Ibrahim Silla had a discussion with me, and we are going to again work on that. If you know, today, you are the second interview. We were supposed to have this recording.
Yeah,
and
but then,
you know, I am here. I was somewhere in the morning.
I know you will.
So
people like UK will always be available.
I'll always be available. What I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I know, I know. And whether it's right or wrong, my government is my government. President Barrow is my leader, and we will defend by the grace of God. And thank you so much too.
Thank you
for always giving me the platform, because when a journalist invites you, he's not coming to insult you.
No, absolutely.
They ask you about happening.
We make, where the opposition is not present, we make ourselves the devil's advocate.
Exactly.
I take the position of the opposition, putting it there. Their concerns and their thinking to you.
And thank you always for reaching out. Anytime you see me, we met at in June.
Right,
we just met, and he said, "Come tomorrow."
Absolutely.
I will you. Thank you so much too for that. Thank you. For reaching out.
That's Ahmed Gitteh of the NPP, and now also he is an advisor to the Minister for Digital Economy.
Yes.
He's in the country to assume duties in that position. So from now on, you can always find him in that imposing building right in front of the Independence Stadium, because that is where the ministry is based. We wish you all the best in your new job, and we wish you all the best also in your political endeavors.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
That's about it in the brunch this week. We will be back, inshallah, next week.
Introducing the future of hassle-free and seamless financial transaction. The Una Wallet app, empowering you to effortlessly manage your money anytime, anywhere. With the Una Wallet app, you can now enjoy branchless banking, wallet-to-wallet transfer, wallet-to-cash, and bank cross-border payments, deposit at a bank, and withdraw from any Una branch. Get ready to experience the ultimate banking convenience with the Una Wallet app. With just few taps on your phone, you can effortlessly add funds, withdraw, and send money to your loved ones. The Una Wallet app also provides a detailed history of your transaction, making it easier to track your expenses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the Una Wallet app today on Play Store or App Store and say goodbye to hassle of traditional banking. Uno Forex Bureau Limited, delivering much more than money.
Jar Oil is Gambia's leading dealer when it comes to fuel and has made it a duty to satisfy our customers at all costs. Vehicle owners and drivers need not to worry about getting quality and affordable fuel anymore. That is the reason we have our branches spread all over the country for easy access. For good and clean fuel, the only place to go is Jar Oil. Your need for good and durable petrol, gasoline and kerosene has been covered by Jar Oil, so you need not to worry. Walk to any of our branches and get served to satisfaction. With Jar Oil, your satisfaction is our priority. That is why we have branches at your doorstep to make accessibility easy for you. With our professional and friendly staff, we can assure you satisfaction. To get the best fuel for your engines, the only place to go is Jar Oil. With Jar Oil, it's all enjoyment. That is why we are offering you low charges at our stations on the Coastal Road and Banjul. For more information, you can call 770-8080, 322-9070, 714-7273, or 387-1321. Ja Oil, the pride of the nation.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Agada
ke mbijan raganya
albaka
mbaka important
yo nga transfer la sto
ya transfer la
ha code nyinji
okay nsila id soto
sorry agada
mbijan bro
albaka
mbaka
bara alla service o tariaka
mbale
mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka
jannom yona forest de bureau gambia tonkon na no mbali ya bere birim koyna fo kato
bari si kodo kino kato nim fo bolon blabe
56 branches mola soto gambia jam
ha
gambia kono ani gambia bantala bankol nko kodo kiya bele kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw jannom number 1 ti nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi ma ni domorol ni fana beteata gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je
wo moyo diat
apelenta
baraka ni men lafta nyelen kendol e bina
yalo bu kanila ko la baraka ba
yalo ndel ciosano lo
baraka